What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mooncast. We're your hosts, Riley,
Macy, Katie,
and we're here to give you the raw and real talk about cannabis, lifestyle, mindfulness, and everything in between. So grab a moon doobie, spark up with us, find a cozy spot, and tune in for this month's episode. What's up, guys? We are back, and today we're talking about something very interesting. Life after death. What's it like after we exit the human journey? And to fuel this conversation, we are going to be puffing on the team's favorite new strain, which is pink pineapple. Katie's got it packed over there. We're ready to go, and here we go. Let's enter this conversation.
Nothing to it but to do it.
Yeah, nothing to it but to do it. So I want to start with my life has been such a spiritual journey, and I feel like I am still very much on this journey. I've had so many points in my life that I was absolutely sure about what's going to happen whenever I die. And I just think that now I'm starting to accept the fact that nobody's going to know. We're never going to be sure. At least I don't think, unless aliens come down and they're like, yo, this is what happens when you die, you know? That's really it. And I feel like I was very close to religion, organized religion, for most of my life. I was the child that went to church on Sunday morning for Bible school or Bible study, and then went to actual sermon Sunday evening.
And then Wednesdays, a little youth group action.
A little youth group. And at that point in time, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to heaven. You know?
Yeah.
And honestly, heaven sounds lit. Heaven's such a comforting idea. And I loved leaning on that, and I can see why so many people on planet Earth lean on this idea of when we exit this life, we get to go to this pristine place where the roads are paved with gold, and we get to hug our loved ones and all of those things. But I feel like as I continued to learn more about why religion was started, all of those things, I was like, damn, is this something that I truly want to dedicate my life to dedicate who I am as a human? I don't know. I believe that there's definitely something that happens after we pass, but am I absolutely sure that it is what I believed in the past? No. And I feel like I have experienced things in this lifetime, in my adult life, that have really opened up doors for me to question a little bit more. And you were always told when you were younger, if you question this, you're going to literally go to hell, and your skin's going to burn off day after day. And
every day forever.
Every day forever. And how unfair, how unfair is it that we, as a child, I never had the door to ask questions, you know, and discover who I was outside of this. And yeah, it's been, sorry to keep talking, but this is something that's very close to me. And I feel like I've really faced a lot of heavy questions in my adult life.
I think that the most important thing that you can do is ask questions.
Definitely. I think I'm okay on that.
I think I'm too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that, growing up, you're always if you question this, that's a bad thing. You need to be steadfast in your faith. You need to be certain. And so I was like, all right, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to know. But then you get older and you start, smoking weed. It's a slippery slope. And then you're like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, you're conscious.
Yeah, like I do need to ask questions, especially if I'm so devout to something. And then you start asking questions and then you just start getting hip and, you know, one thing leads to another. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't fucking know where I'm going to go when I die.
Yeah.
And that is scary.
In the ground.
It is scary.
I feel like it's a question too, and I think that it's because of how heavily like we grew up within religion, but I feel like I ask that question every day. Like, where do I go when I exit this? Like, is there more? Is it just a blank screen? You know?
Right, just lights out.
Lights out. What was your experience like, Katie, when you were growing up? I know you went to Catholic school,
Yeah,
right?
I did, but to be honest, I never really fully bought into organized religion. I think that there's something definitely bigger at play. I don't necessarily know what that is, but we're just like a speck in a universe, you know,
Yeah.
in a galaxy. In a universe full of galaxies, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I never grew up with that same experience, even though I did go to Catholic school. I kind of believe that our energy just gets transferred into something, whether it be like a tree, you know, that doesn't have feelings, or if you get pushed into like another life. I don't know. But I think that our energy goes somewhere.
Yeah, which is a comforting thought. I
Yeah.
kind of think it's cool that nobody knows. I mean, one thing that we all inevitably have in common is that we will die. And so how can you not wonder? You know what I mean? Like, if you're somebody that is never really introduced to religion in that way, like, I don't know. I've gone through stages of my life believing in so many different theories, and like I'll hear a new one and I'll be like, you know what? That's cool. That's what I think now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me now.
Yeah, but I think that's cool. Like, I don't know what I believe really, but I truly believe that your kindness in your life might affect not just kindness, but just like benevolence and I don't know, just I feel like that somewhat has to kind of affect what happens next.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
for sure. It's like how could we like be full of all of these feelings and come down here and have all of these extravagant experiences and like feel emotions as intense as like love and grief and those type of things, and there not be more to this.
Right.
I at least hope, you know, and I was at a point in my life where I was meditating every day, and this was like one of the best moves that I had ever done for my mental health. You know, I'd wake up in the morning, I would smoke, and I would meditate for an hour. And I can truly say that this point in time was the most transformative in my entire life. And I think that it's because you're experiencing consciousness for what it is. And when you finally like step outside of your thoughts and realize that you are the thought leader, not your thoughts, there's like this whole nother question, like, who am I? You know, and who even is Riley, and what exists inside of like my human form? And those questions came up, and it was almost like I like started to cry and feel like these intense emotions, like how lucky are we to be able to experience what we're experiencing right now and like not even know where we came from. Like we get to feel such intense things every single day and see an entire planet full of just like wonders. And I don't know, it was a really interesting spiritual experience that I had outside of Christianity. But I will say, like, when I practiced Christianity as heavily as I did, like there were times where like you were also filled with joy in almost that same type of way, in like a less conscious way. Like you were filled with joy because like you were saved, you know, and you were going to heaven at the next step, and you knew that for sure. And like, what a glorious feeling. Like, you know, even when you exit this amazing experience, you get to enter a realm of like complete bliss. And yeah, but then you ask the questions like, just because someone doesn't dedicate their life to this one entity, does that mean that they deserve to burn in hell? Probably not. But to each his own. Again, like, no hate. It's just the questions that I've started to ask in my adult life, and it's been very transformative. And honestly, weed has been a huge counterpart in that experience. Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys had like those type of spiritual experiences in your adult life? I feel like I'm a very spiritual person, so this is like different for me than what it is.
Not. I mean, to be honest, for a long time, for like the beginning of my life, really, I just never challenged myself, like who I was or what I was about or like what I needed or was looking for or anything. Like, I just was like, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
This is who I am. This is what it is. So I don't think that I've really reached a level in which I'm like delving in that deeply to my spiritual side.
Right. And there's a comfort in that, though. There's a comfort in simplicity.
I definitely
and
don't
just,
mind it.
Yeah. Just like experiencing life for what it is, and like not trying to answer these questions that we know that we'll never truly have like something factual on paper about. What about you, Macy? Like, I feel like we were raised in the same household. So, but in your adult life, I don't really see you on the spiritual side too much.
I don't know. It's an interesting thought for sure. I just like the number one thing. All right, hold on. Let me flip this.
Okay.
I think that, like you were saying, in your human experience, you get to experience so much joy and love and grief and sadness. And I think when you start looking at those things in a lens like, I get to experience this, then you can even find something special in grief. You know what I mean? Because like, if you're experiencing grief, then that means that you once experienced love, and how special.
Yeah.
You know, like, even though I'm experiencing such an intense, you can transform your sadness. It's all through point of view. Like, if you look at your, sadness through a different lens, then you can like realize like, hey, it's cool that I'm able to feel deeply.
Yeah. Feel this.
Despite what the feeling is. It's like, in life, in your human life on earth, there's so much to be felt and to be had, and that's the coolest. Even when it's bad sometimes, it's special still.
Yeah, death is just such an interesting thing, because like, you ask the question like, or who said it, when you're born, like when you die, you exit into the same place that you entered. Like,
yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend that was like,
not your mom.
Yeah, I was like, hold on. I had an ex that was always like, when people ask, where do you go after you die? It's kind of like, where were you before you were born? It's got to be the same type of space. You know what I mean? That always stuck with me. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And it's like, what is consciousness as a baby though? Like, is consciousness something though that you just grow up and learn? Because at that point, like, as a baby, you're just watching and learning, and like, how high of a level of consciousness is that? Or is that just like consciousness existing in the human experience versus what consciousness is? Does that make sense?
I feel like they have consciousness. I feel like they have that, but no vocabulary or understanding to like retain.
Right.
But I feel like they know and like are understanding, but don't have like
the knowledge to interpret it.
Yeah.
But you still like experience in the same way, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I've also heard this theory that I really like, that you were basically all just this one soul that is simultaneously living every life ever, like from the start to finish, because time is subjective, but like my soul will also experience your whole life and will also experience your full life. And I have experienced the full life of someone in the Roman Empire, but also someone that hasn't even been born yet. Like, it's all just one collective.
I like
And
that.
sometimes it fucks me up though, because I'll be fishing and I'll catch a fish and I'll be like, yanking the hook out of its throat. And I'll be like, one day I'm going to
Flip-flop.
One day I'm going to be I'm going to be a fish and I'm going to be pulled out of the water by me. And I'll be like,
Oh my God.
you know what I mean?
You guys are going to look each other in the eyes, too.
And I'm like, that's what should keep you from hurting people. You know what I mean? Is you have to feel empathy for everyone, because someday you're going to live this person's exact life.
Yeah, or you could. It's a
I
possibility.
think that's cool. That's why I don't like back to fish. That's why I don't like having a fish tank. So I'm like, dude, one day I'm going to live the life of this fish in this glass globe, and I'm going to be looking out and seeing myself staring in at it and be like, I'm the one that imprisoned me.
Even like thinking about yourself, like being the one that's, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's why you have to be kind.
Yeah, you have to be kind. Maybe that's the lesson that we all learned from the afterlife, is like, hopefully it's like at least encouragement for us to come here on earth and like live it to its fullest. And that involves treating other people with kindness and with love and with empathy. But it also involves freaking being a human, like going sled riding. Mm-hmm. Sled riding, awesome thing that humans do.
Yeah.
Pets.
Yep.
Pets, having a pet dog, like we were talking about that the other day. It's like having like a pet dog or a cat that's like living side by side with you.
Just an animal.
Just an animal, and its whole life is just about you, and it loves that. Like that's what it's like. There's not the equality there, and like the best way of saying it, but like the pet like thrives on that idea, like this is my human. And I think that that's so special.
It is special.
It's really cute.
Humans do cute things.
Yeah, that's
Humans do cute things.
know.
It's like, it's so funny to watch sometimes. Like you see somebody in the ocean, okay, and there's giant waves coming, and they're like riding a boogie board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's a cute human thing.
I love
It
that
is
we
a
do
cute
that.
human
Playing
thing.
skee ball.
Looking for shells on the beach.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what a cute thing that we do. And it's like, for me, currently, what I believe in is the idea that consciousness like re-enters where we are all one, and it is one love. Shout out Bob Marley. But
One love.
one love, one heart, one soul,
One mind.
Anyway, we all enter back there, and it's like, it's really comforting to me to think about an idea that my consciousness picked this experience. Like me before I was Riley saw like 10, 20 different options of like different lifetimes that I could live, and in different ways that you can experience, whether that's a human or like an alien. Could be something on a completely different planet or like intergalactic level, but like you look at these options, and for some reason I chose that I wanted to be a human and experience that for what it was. Like there had to be something special about that. And that's what I've been finding comfort in lately about the afterlife.
Cute.
Have you seen the
I like
movie
that.
Soul?
Yes.
Yeah, shout
Do you
out
like
to
that?
Soul.
Shout out to Soul.
All of
a
our
solid
podcast listeners, if you haven't seen Soul via Disney,
Yeah. Disney.
go give her a watch.
Yeah, great film.
Cinematic
It is.
masterpiece.
It's wonderful.
For real.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's such a confusing topic. It's
It
scary. Death is scary because it's endless possibilities. Nobody's truly ever sure. Like I guess you can convince yourself that you're sure, but for factual evidence, like nobody's sure.
You know what blows me?
Mm.
People that die and then get like resuscitated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, and everybody's got like their own unique experience. But I'm like, what's that?
What's that about?
What's that about?
Actually, I've read about what that's about.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, let us know.
So there is a gland in your brain called the pineal gland. Okay. And that is actually what releases like all kinds of chemicals in your brain. In fact, the same chemical as DMT.
I was going to say.
Yes. And that already exists in your body naturally. And the only times that your body releases that chemical from the pineal gland is when you're born and when you die, which is such an interesting thing.
It's an interesting thought.
And so if these people are experiencing this near-death experience, you know, like their idea of heaven, their idea of hell, maybe, just anything of what happens after you die, like you've got that major chemical releasing when you die or near die, and you're going to experience something from that. It's like people who take the DMT trips and are meeting other beings or meeting God or meeting themselves, and it's got to be the same concept.
For the most part, I hear it's pretty lovely.
Yeah.
I've actually heard that too.
Yeah. Death.
Which I'm like,
I'm not really afraid of death. I mean, that's something we're all going to do. We're all going to do it. So I'm not scared. I'm not scared about what comes after because it is what it is.
That's true.
What will be.
That's true.
That's cool,
And that's
Katie.
comforting too.
Nice.
Katie, you have such an interesting take on all of this.
It's like
It's
out of
different
sight,
than
out
what
of mind for me with everything.
I feel like I really fear impending death. Like when people get old and you're like, you know, like this is a couple days, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to die. Whereas
Just a quick
if you just die, then
That kind of seems nice.
it's not so bad.
Yeah, like
I feel like
not
it's the knowing and like the anticipating, like, wow, I'm about to exit planet Earth and I have everybody grieving around me. Like this just seems like a super negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you just die,
Seems more enticing that way.
kind of lit.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, of course.
Yeah. I would say that maybe we should cut it.
Check out that. We'll revisit that.
I don't know that I'm actually scared of like dying and what's next, but like I am really scared of dying young or dying like before I really get to do the shit that I want to do.
You
know?
won't
I
even
wanna
know
see
or
the
care, though.
pyramids. I want to go see the pyramids in Egypt. And I can't die before I do that.
But I feel like when you die, you're not going to be like, shit,
I missed
didn't
it.
get to see the pyramids.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just, you know,
It's just
you're not going to think about that.
So do you guys think when you die, you're conscious of your human experience, or do you think that
Maybe
you
for a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you ever seen like those kids that are born and they like are born and
Like
they,
clairvoyant.
yeah, or they claim that they lived a whole different life before that?
not really.
Really?
I haven't seen that, but I want to get hip.
Yeah, I want to know more about it.
There is this place, it's an Asian country, I know this, but they heavily believe in reincarnation. And I heard the story of this guy that supposedly reincarnated. He had memories of like what his name was before, what his wife's name was before. He was like a soldier before, knew how he died, all of these things. And he went and told that guy's family, that guy had died. Okay. It was actually somebody that he knew, and ends up remarrying, which age gap, weird. But in his older life, ends up remarrying supposedly the woman that he was married to in a past life.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
It's kind of like, have you seen the movie Hitchcock
No.
with Will Smith?
No. Hitchcock.
Oh,
Or Hitchhiker's.
Is that the one with the box jellyfish?
No. That's Seven.
That's Pursuit of.
Oh.
No, that's 7 pounds.
7 pounds.
7
All right,
pounds.
not to be mistaken with Hitchcock, I'm assuming.
Or is that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
No.
He's in that too.
No, he's not.
Maybe he's not.
Will Smith is not in Hitchhiker's
I don't
Guide to the
think
Galaxy.
he is.
Podcast guy, confirm this. He doesn't know. Will Smith is not in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Look it
Hold
up.
on.
All right, we gotta look it up. Quick
Anywho.
Google. He's in Men in Black. Got to be the same thing.
He's another fantastic movie. Sorry to go a little off course, but The Adjustment Bureau, if you've never seen that, it's about like these people whose lives were only supposed to cross for like one moment together, one like memory to have together, and then their lives were supposed to like veer off, but they keep finding each other in their life, and there's this whole ass like group of people, the Adjustment Bureau, that's trying to like get them to
Not be
to
together.
follow their actual like life pattern.
Whoa.
That's like told out by the greater force or whatever.
That's crazy.
It's
It's
crazy.
kind of crazy.
He's not in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I googled it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yes, of course. But
But yeah, when I will tell a story about a meditation story. I know I've told you these, but I'm going to tell Katie. I have experienced, and meditating has truly been what has convinced me that there is something more. There was a point in time in my life that I was like, yeah, fuck it. We just black out and
Fuck
get
it, we
buried.
ball.
Yeah, fuck it, we ball. Like we get buried into the ground and that's it. And which that's really depressing to lean onto, or some people find comfort in that. But anyway, I started meditating, and like in the beginning, I couldn't meditate. I couldn't. Like I would sit down and my mind would be racing a million different directions, especially because I experienced mental illness in multiple forms, you know. Yeah.
Let's go.
But after a while, it's like anything. That's what I always tell people. It's like practice makes perfect. And one day, this is my very first experience. I was laying on the floor. I was like, I'm just going to stare at the ceiling. I'm not going to think about anything. I'm just going to stare at this one part of the ceiling. And all of a sudden, my eyes were like wide open and colors, not even high. I'm not high during this, okay? Fully cognitive. This is midday, mid-afternoon. I'm home alone with my dog, staring at the ceiling. And after a while, like when my brain started to shut off, like all of these colors came into my vision and like started like warping around in front of me. And I could only see like this one part of the ceiling surrounded by all of this. And I remember my body during this time completely like releasing, like I just like sobbed, like while I was sitting there. And it was like all of these pent up things that I felt and or didn't even know existed. I was like, oh shit. Like, and as soon as you like think, oh shit, this is happening, you just come out of it. And that's what happened to me the first time. But ever since then, I've like really honed in on this experience, and I've had some extreme out of body experiences, like full out floating above myself and like feeling like my body's like catapulting through space. And
That's cool.
Whoa.
yeah, it's like, it's been a very interesting experience for me, because I'm like, if this exists on like a different plane of consciousness, which essentially is what you do when you meditate, is like you reduce the frequencies that you put out, and that does exist factually. And when you reduce yourself into like a different frequency, you experience life differently. And like, if this level of consciousness exists, like that has to be comparable at least to the afterlife, or has to be like aligned with it in some way.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you're going to be
do
able to
that.
like teleport with your brain.
That'd be awesome. Or like astral project.
I was gonna say astral
That'd be so
projection.
cool. Go and walk around Buchanan as a fucking ghost or something.
There
Go
you
to
go.
K Lounge.
Yeah. Go to the K Lounge.
shoot some
just
pool.
sit there.
Pickpocket.
Yeah.
Pickpocket at the K.
Maybe we should cut that.
No, leave it in.
But yeah, do dreams have to do with death?
It's gotta. I think that it's the pineal gland. That's like the dream epicenter. I don't know what dreams are, but gotta have something to do with, what we're talking about.
I hope that dreams don't have to do with other lives.
Sometimes I'll be dreaming some crazy
Yeah,
shit.
you do.
Yeah, fun fact about Macy.
I do be dreaming.
She dreams
dream.
about awful, awful things.
probably should go without mention on the Mooncast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Tell the one where Macy gets sleep paralysis a lot. Tell the sleep paralysis story. The most recent one at the end of your bed.
Oh my gosh, I just have the worst. Like, I'll wake up and swear that it's like 100% reality, like waking reality. And there will just be like someone standing right next to me or standing right at the foot of my bed. And or sometimes I'll wake up to somebody screaming, Macy! And like I'll stun awake and I'm like freaking out, looking around, swearing to God that I heard it in real life, but I don't. Maybe I do.
Maybe you do.
I feel like when you dream, you're on the edge of like, I don't know, something's going on.
This is not medical advice. Let me preface by saying this. And this is not advice. This is not advice. This is just what I have done. There is this herb called mugwort that I used to mix in with my marijuana. And this is a giant portion of like having out of body experiences, especially like crazy dreams and like the idea of lucid dreaming and things. It definitely 100% can get you there. So if you're ever interested in
Shout out to Mugwort.
Yeah, shout out to Mugwort. If you're ever interested in an out of body experience, try it.
Have you guys ever had a dream where you wake up and then you wake up again?
Yeah, that messes with me. Mm-hmm. Because then I'll be going throughout my day and I'm like, this could be a dream.
Am I in Inception right now?
Yeah.
Do you ever dream that you're pissing and you wake up and you're pissing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
That's
done
the
that
only
before.
time
I hate that.
I had peed the bed. Was,
Yeah.
I'll be doing
It's
that.
always a dream.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just your body naturally reacting. Like,
Or you dream that you're shitting.
Okay, all right.
okay,
No.
that's never happened.
Just
We
kidding.
might-
That's never happened to me.
Okay. Yeah, we believe that.
Yeah, maybe that's where we should cut it. Well, now that we're not on topic anymore, peace out.
Thanks for listening, and since you've made it this far, here's 20% off your next Moonflower order. Use coupon code PODCAST20 at moonflowerhemp.com for 20% off at checkout. Thanks so much and have an awesome rest of your week.